Sweden's been really interesting. Coming to Sweden has been interesting. I've had some indications to come to Sweden before, because this friend of mine, he came to South Africa. He's teaching magic, and then there's this Angstbacka festival in Sweden, and then I kept on hearing about people who'd gone to Sweden, and there seemed to be some real interest in growth and development and awakening. So it was like these little hints, there's something going on in Sweden. And of course I had Kia, who I've been working with for a few years, living in Sweden and saying, please come to Sweden. So when I had this trip planned to Europe, I called Kia and I said, hey, do you think there's a possibility that maybe we could have a ceremony in Sweden? And she was like, yes, come, I will organize everything. And then it started coming in, and it came in really quickly. The group filled up quite quickly, and quite an amazing group of people, really across the range, different ages, different professions, different parts and walks of life, and really interesting to see this group of people who formed to come and meet the wood here in Sweden. And it was really, it was really a great ceremony. I felt that it went very deep. People ate a lot of wood. I was surprised when we were doing the body check in the beginning and seeing how much wood people wanted. People wanted quite a lot of wood. And I was surprised. I was like, wow, this is the first time here. I wasn't expecting the dosage to be quite so high. And then in the ceremony itself, of course, there's always that first phase when people have the wood and then they're trying to have more wood and they're starting to purge and the energy's getting really strong from the Iboga. And people are getting a bit afraid. They haven't reached their dosage yet. They're still climbing up, so they know that it's still going to get stronger, and they're going, wow, this is really strong as it is. The first few people haven't purged yet, so it's building. And that happens in every ceremony. So, that moment came. And then, we started to reach cruising altitude after getting through that bit when everybody's adapting, the bodies are adapting to the wood. And then, the next day and a half being in the wood, and people really went deep. It's amazing because, I'm not doing the healing. I'm holding the space while the wood does the healing. And in holding that space, I get to witness. And over the years, I've become sensitive to see what people are letting go of. The tremendous energies that are moving in them. The fear, the grief, the joy, how their energy is moving. And mostly they're lying down, so they're deeply internal. But just when they're purging, or when they're sitting up, or when they're going to the bathroom, or when I'm just checking in with them, how they are, I can get so much information about how the people are doing. And they were going really, really quite deep. And then every place has its own flavor and its own energy. And so here in Sweden, people are really connected with nature. So everywhere there's a park, or there's woods, or the gardens open up into the landscape. It actually reminds me of South Africa in that way, that the nature, or Cape Town, where I come from, where the nature is very integrated with the way people live. And people are always going walking, taking their dogs in the forest or by the lake. And so that kind of natural surrounding felt very supportive here, that energy. And I could feel that energy in the people also. And of course, sometimes, I've got these mythical stories in my head. It's a way in which I play with reality. But at one point, this kind of vision of this band of Vikings coming through the mist, was appearing. Of course, everybody's lying on their beds down there, but, in my inner eye, I'm seeing something else. I'm seeing something forming as they're connecting with, but it was like spiritual Vikings, Vikings, warriors for spirit. and that warrior energy came through very strongly with people's commitment to holding themselves. People were really showing up, men and women, just really, like nobody really running away from it, or people were having a challenging time, but meeting the challenge. And I really enjoyed that spirit. And I think the wood enjoyed it also. Iboga was very happy to be working here. And I got the sense like God wants to work more with this group of people. There's a lot. Africa has these kind of very deep bass notes. This kind of deep bass note and this kind of very, very powerful feeling body. There's like a lot of feeling in the heart. And I felt how that was such good medicine. For here, colder country, people, I wouldn't say they're reserved, but they're quite correct. They've got like a lot of respect for each other, but almost in a way that it takes away from some of the spontaneous connection. And I could feel that kind of African energy kind of bringing the unison together into that like little bit of that really kind of straight, we must do it right, kind of a little bit of the energy that is here. And this African warmth sort of coming in, it feels like a really good exchange of energies. So it was really, really a privilege to serve the wood here, and I'm looking forward to coming back.